Next on Worcester News Tonight, the group hoping to save Our Lady of Mount Carmel holds a vigil in the city tonight, praying for a miracle. Plus, it's the time of the year where potholes are popping up everywhere. How hitting one could cost you. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Preservationists in Worcester continue to fight for the former Our Lady of Mount Carmel Church. Tonight, parishioners made their way to the building to hold a prayer service during Holy Week. But as crews begin to work on the church's interior, it appears the wrecking ball is looming. Our Kim Jandro was there today and has the story.
Our Father.
Parishioners of the former Our Lady of Mount Carmel pray Wednesday. They're looking for a miracle.
Just to stand in heartbreak together. You know, we're a family. We had 13,000 signatures in our online petition asking to save this church. 13,000.
The church's Preservation Society hosted a vigil. Dozens filled the sidewalks outside of the Mulberry Street building.
People want the church to stay up. They want the community. They want to stay together.
The Diocese of Worcester announcing the Society's appeals to the Vatican were shot down. During Holy Week last year, orange demolition markings were made on the church. This year, crews have been removing pieces from the inside.
This is the way people feel. It's almost like it's a spiteful act. It's like, there you go, here you are. And it's heartbreaking to see the altar being removed, to see the artifacts.
The Society says a developer who has not yet been announced has been selected to purchase the land. But the Mount Carmel Preservation Society is not ready to say goodbye.
Our faith is steadfast, and we're not standing down. We're still standing tall.
God forbid, if and when this building goes down, we're still not giving up, because there's traditions that need to be kept alive.
Now, the group says they are not giving up on the building, and they will continue to meet with legal counsel to discuss ways that they can potentially save Our Lady of Mount Carmel. They have even sent a plea to the Pope, and they're hoping to hear back from him rather soon. Working against them, however, is time. The demolition contract for the building is set to expire by the end of the month, so the wrecking ball could make its way to Our Lady of Mount Carmel in the coming days. In Worcester tonight, I'm Kim Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
Crews battling a brush fire in Uxbridge for several hours Wednesday. The two-alarm fire started in the woods off of Hecla Street and worked its way over multiple acres of land. The department struck the second alarm just after 2 o'clock and received assistance from surrounding towns, including Northbridge and Millbury. Firefighters extinguished flames and smoke throughout the area. The cause of the fire is unknown at this time. Efforts are being made and plans are underway to redevelop vacant buildings and land in Worcester. According to the city's Assistant Chief Development Officer, there are 2 parcels remaining of the City Square project, including the site of the former Notre Dame des Canadiens Church, which was demolished earlier last year.
Some sort of mixed use and maybe some housing. There was a proposal previously that included housing there, so it sort of remains to be seen, but that's what we expect might be going there. And so the owner is working on identifying a potential buyer and developer for that site as well.
Peter Dunn says other current projects include renovations to the Lincoln Square Boys Club building, the Worcester Auditorium, and the former Worcester County Courthouse. The city sold the former courthouse to Trinity Financial, who's turning it into 117 units of mixed-income housing. The development includes a museum dedicated to Major Taylor.
Some new activity and an adaptive reuse, you actually provide better stewardship for that historic asset. So that's really important in making sure that we preserve those and not let them continue to deteriorate over time.
Dunn adds there is a financial benefit as well. The new property owners will be contributing property taxes to the city. Worcester's Downtown Business Improvement District reaches another milestone, announcing the hiring of an executive director. The organization was formed last year to help improve the downtown business district. Wednesday, the city announced community development expert Evelyn Darling has been named the executive director. The Worcester bid will implement services within the downtown, including cleaning, maintenance, and safety. City Councilor Mo Bergman says he believes it will be beneficial for the city.
Yes, at the end of the day, it makes good sense, especially downtown, where we're trying to make that the showcase of Worcester.
The Downtown Worcester Business Improvement District is set to hit the streets in May. Today is the last day to file your taxes in Massachusetts, and if you haven't yet, you're not alone. The IRS expects to receive about 14.6 million extension requests from taxpayers. People can request an extension through a paid tax preparer, tax preparation software, or by mailing a paper form, which must be done on or before the April tax filing deadline, which is tonight at midnight. A filing extension allows taxpayers until October 15th to gather, prepare, and file, but it does not extend the time to pay any tax due. Stop and Shop workers enter a full week of striking. The grocery chain is working to donate food not sold in stores. Some local food pantries are opening their doors to Stop and Shop, and while they understand where the workers are coming from, they rely on these donations. Our Chandler Walsh has the latest.
Bill Riley has filled more than 80 vans with food from Stop and Shop in the last few days.
Wherever it's going to the right place. It's not going in the dumpster.
Stop and Shop workers are in their 7th day of striking, pushing for better wages, retirement, and health care benefits.
We want to go back to work!
The grocery chain is donating unsold food to pantries like St. John's Food for the Poor. Riley, the program's manager, says he's gone to several locations throughout Worcester County, and the extra work is worth it.
Watching all the families come in today and grab a box of food that really need the food. And, you know, you look and you smile when they leave.
At Worcester's Grafton Street location, St. John's loaded up on meat, milk, fruit, and baked goods. Riley says there's so much food, he's also distributing it to other pantries in the city.
I have the 3 vans. You know, some of these places don't have a van to pick up or anything.
Employees outside the store on West Boylston Street are asking people not to shop there until they get a better contract.
There's no fresh food in here, people. We've stopped all deliveries. We brought Stop and Shop to its knees.
Stop and Shop says they're continuing negotiations, but workers like Derek Ceccarini say it isn't enough.
Company refuses to come to the table to work with us, so, I mean, we're doing our part, we need them to do their part.
Riley says he hopes the strike is settled soon and workers get what they're asking for. He asked picketers if they were okay with him collecting the food and says they knew it was the right thing to do.
They all said, we want you to go pick it up. That's where it should go. And you know what? We'll help you load the truck if you want.
In a statement, Stop and Shop says they're committed to resolving labor negotiations as quickly as possible so employees can return to their jobs and they can get back to serving their communities. In Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
Senator Ed Markey visiting WPI to learn more about fire science research being done in the school's Fire Protection Engineering Lab. Markey is backing the Green New Deal. He says it's an outside-in strategy relying on organization and people power. The legislation would establish a zero-net greenhouse gas emissions as one of 5 primary goals. He says climate change is warming up the temperature of the planet, and forest fires across the country show this.
The research being done at WPI on fires can help to reduce the likelihood that these forest fires turn into conflagrations that are uncontrollable.
Markey says his goal is to increase the funding for research necessary to avoid catastrophic consequences of fires across the country. It's the time of year where potholes are popping up all over local roads. And while they can cause serious damage to cars, the city offers a way for drivers to report them as soon as they see them. Our Rosalind Flaherty has more.
You can see the damage right here. It's pretty significant. It actually broke the wheel in half.
This is what can happen if you hit a big enough pothole.
It can be costly quickly.
Ramstrom Service Center says the driver had to get a whole new wheel. They've seen a lot of people coming in with damaged cars.
The city's doing a good job at patching them up, but the roads have seemed to be brutal this year.
Potholes are a common sight on Worcester streets after the winter. The city says you can report potholes on their website and DPW crews will come and fill them on public streets. Daria Karuna says she tries to avoid them but sometimes can't.
You have to check first, for a lane change before you can avoid them, but they're everywhere. I did hit one going over the Green Bridge down here coming up to the bank, and it was, very deep.
Randstrom says the price to fix them depends on the age of your vehicle and says if your vehicle is older, you want to avoid them as much as possible.
One hit could be maybe even $1,000. It can ruin someone's day quickly.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
Worcester police responding to reports of shots fired Tuesday night. Officers were on scene of Harlem in South Ward Street. They say they found a male victim lying on the sidewalk with a gunshot wound to the abdomen. The victim was transported to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Witnesses tell police people got out of a car and began to shoot the victim while he was walking. He was also struck by the suspect's car before they drove away. Anyone with information is asked to contact police.